So we are going to use the same data that you already collected to do the second part of the lab, and hopefully this keeps recording and you can see. So yesterday's calendar obviously isn't valid. The assignment for today isn't very hard. You're just going to use the data you already collected to convert it into different size metric units. It'll be due on Friday, like I just said. So it's super straightforward, I think. And the document will look a lot like the document you've already been using. You're going to transfer the data. So remember, the first part was linear measurement, and so you have the data for the light and heavyweight foil, the length and width, and then you calculated area. So those are in centimeters. What I need you to do is convert them to millimeters. So transfer your data here that you already collected. I know it's a pain to have to do that again, but it'll make it easier for you to do conversion. So millimeters, and then meters, and then kilometers. So you're switching between all different size increments. For mass, I went ahead and just put the mass of a pre-1982 penny and a 1983 and later penny. So you need to change those in milligrams and then kilograms. On the volumes, you have all the milliliter measurements, so transfer those here and then convert them to liters. And then your temperatures that you measured were in degrees Celsius. Kelvin doesn't have a degree sign, it's kind of weird, but I want you to change your Celsius temperatures into Kelvin temperatures. Pretty straightforward conversion, it's not super hard at all. And that is what you'll need to do, darn it, for Friday. And then tomorrow we'll start on the, I can't, we will start on, there we go, thickness of aluminum foil lab. That's what I'm trying to say. I can speak. Sorry, the smoke has addled my brain. But I want to go over how to do conversions just in case you're still struggling with it. I know you've done it with other teachers before, and you'll have to do it again, probably in another science class if you take one. But I want you to just follow along, if you wouldn't mind, on what I do on the front board. So let's just make believe you have a piece of aluminum foil, and oops, there we go. And let's just say the width was, I don't know, 5.67 centimeters. Okay, what you recorded in your first lab was the 5.67 centimeters. And remember, you need to go out to the hundredths place, right? You have to read between the lines. You get all the digits that are certain, all the ones you have marks for, and then you have to read in between the lines. That's a little bit uncertain. That last digit could be as high as 8, could be as low as 6, but it's still significant, so you need to have that out to the hundredths place. So the task that you have to do is to convert from one type of unit to another. And that's what this little metric ladder is kind of handy for. So on the bottom of the Google document, there's a metric ladder, which I believe Mrs. Olson uses in biology. The conversion only involves moving the decimal. It doesn't involve changing any numbers. That's the cool thing about the metric system. All you do is slide the decimal one way or the other. You're not dividing by 12 or 60 or whatever it is to change from inches to feet or minutes to hours. It's really simple. The numbers stay the same. Okay? The only thing that changes is where the decimal is. So scientists know our metric prefixes. You need to know at least 6 of them. Remember, this one is for the base unit. You need to know at least these 6 minimum, and there will be questions on the other ones as well, but that's just the starting point. So you probably learned in math PEMDAS, right? So please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, a silly way to remember the order or what those letters mean. Well, it doesn't actually help me with what it means. Just remember the first letter. So there's a crazy one for this as well. You might also have learned, my very educated mother just sent us nachos. So you would learn how to order the planets from the sun out in the solar system. Remember, Pluto's not a planet anymore. So when I learned it, it was just sent us 9 pizzas, but just sent us nachos is pretty good too. So here's a stupid way to remember this. Of course, K is really for kilo, H is for hecto, D is for deca, the base unit, deci, centi, milli. King Henry drinks buttermilk, ew, during cold mornings. It makes no sense. It doesn't matter if it makes any sense. It's just a way to help you get the prefixes in the right order. So kilo is thousand, which is 10 to the 3rd. Hecto is hundreds. Deca, like a decade, is 10 years. The base unit in our case in this example is meter. Deci, so that would be 10 to the 0, which is kind of silly too. Deci is 1/10, which is 10 to the minus 1. Centi is 1/100, like pennies, like cents. And then milli is million. It's milli is 1,000. Okay? And that is like a millennium has 1,000 years. Okay. So King Henry drinks buttermilk during cold mornings. If that helps you, great. If it doesn't, don't worry about it, just as long as you can remember them. Why do we have to remember them? Well, let's say I want to change centimeters into meters. All I have to do, if I have this little handy dandy list like this, is say, okay, move my decimal 1, 2 places to the left. 1, 2 places to the left, throw a 0 in there, and now instead of 5.67 centimeters, I have 0.0567 meters. Okay. You're really dividing by 100, and we'll talk more about dimensional analysis later, but this is just a good way to get started. And then what if I wanted to go to kilometers, kilometers, centimeters? Again, my decimals here to start, 5.67 centimeters, but I'm going to have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places to the left. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. And of course, each of those places gets another 0. You'll notice real quick when you go from centimeters to kilometers, it ends up adding a lot of zeros, and that gets really confusing. So I would like you to change that into scientific notation. So 5.67 times 10 to the minus 5th kilometers. Okay. All of these are the same. 5.67 centimeters, 0.0567 meters, 5.67 times 10 to the minus 5th kilometers are the same size. It's just that kilometer is a huge increment, so you need a little tiny bit of it. Centimeters are a small increment, so you need a bunch of them. Okay? So it's just moving the decimal place. That's all you're doing. You're not changing the digits. Okay? All right. Questions from anybody on how to do conversions? Was that hopefully helpful? Refresher. Good, thank you, Jack. All right, I'm going to say that we're good to go. If you need to ask me questions, you're not sure, and you're too embarrassed, I'll stay on for as long as you need. Otherwise, have a great afternoon. I'm going to turn off the recording so you can ask your questions privately. But if you,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Bye, thank you.